Yo, people, and welcome to another episode of For a Different Lens podcast. It's your boy Joe.
And it's your boy Jacob.
Yes, my boy. How are we? As the Premier League season is about to kick off, what are we saying?
I'm all good, man. Really looking forward to it. I feel like it's another year where Arsenal are going to retain. So more celebration for me, more enjoyment for me, less enjoyment for the rest of the league. So, man, I'm really looking forward to it. It's a highly anticipated season. I feel like a lot of moves have happened recently. A lot of moves have happened in the past. And yes, it's interesting. It's just real interesting. Just seeing what's going on in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. Obviously, you know, you guys are favourites and all that jazz, but we'll talk on that part. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, do you want to get us started in this, you know, I won't say new era of Premier League, but it's a bit of a very different season, especially with Pep leaving or having left recently.
100%. Also, funny enough is that Man City documentary's just come out as well. So like there's a lot of stuff that's gone on that we're now seeing why maybe would have led to Pep's leaving, which is very interesting as well. But yeah, no, let's kick it off because the new Premier League season is upon us. And I wanted to start off with actually outside the Prem. What do you think of the transfers so far? Who do you think's had the best window so far?
The best window. Obviously, the window is not closed, even though the league's about to start. The best window. You know what? Even though they've spent lavishly and they're now literally just before we started got a notification that they're in talks for 2 Man City players, up there is Spurs. Whether they do well or not is a different story. But I think they've spent like nearly about 229 mil or some jazz. And literally the news was that they're trying to do a double deal for Savinho and Marmoush from Man City. So, yeah. Literally. Wow. Obviously, we've seen Savinho all summer, the talks, and they tried to get him last summer. But then the Marmoush part caught me off guard. And we know City aren't going to sell cheap in that sense. Marmoush hasn't been there for long, so he's still got a lot on his contract. Savinho, literally 2 years as well. I think his contract's till 2031. So, yeah, Spurs can have a claim as one of the clubs with the best windows. Again, 100 mil on Tonali. Excessive, but he's a very good player. We've seen him in the Prem. Mateus Fernandes, 85 mil. Again, overpay, but he's a good player, even though he's been back-to-back relegated years. Van Hecker from Brighton, 52 million. I think Senesi on a free, which I believe was a good pickup from Bournemouth. Andy Robinson from Liverpool, obviously that experience factor. So that might help change in terms of mentality. So like they've spent excessively again, and they look like they're not continue. As De Zerbi said a couple of weeks ago, he wants the continued bombers coming in, incoming signings. So, and they're not playing in Champions League, innit? So, or Europe, sorry, actually, completely. So they've got a chance, like Chelsea, to obviously concentrate on the league, but really make noise. Do you know what I mean? Really, like it's in a way because of the way Spurs are spending. They have to make Champions League, basically, get Champions League football. And their signings have to reflect that, do you know what I mean? And I'd probably say Chelsea has been okay, but do you know what I mean? I feel the same for you guys. If Arsenal had got Vinny, then I feel like no matter what anyone else done, your window would have won anyway. And do you know what I mean? Like, you lot have agreed a deal for Konza today, Ezri Konza from Aston Villa. So that's just more defensive reinforcements. In that sense, obviously, you've got Bruno Guimaraes, very good midfield signing as well. Zolis, it'll be interesting to see how he adapts to the Prem. He's obviously been having a good pre-season. But I feel like you guys are still at least one attacker away. I.e. you're starting starting 9 effectively. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you lot dismantled City in the Community Shield, but are you as a fan confident as Havertz and Gyökeres as your strikers for the season?
Do you know what? I'm not confident, but I'm okay with it just because I know we score goals by committee, and that's how it's going to be at Arsenal. We don't have the outstanding 9 that's going to win us the game by himself, essentially, and he's going to score us all these goals. We don't have a 15 to 20 goal scorer, number 9. So it's always done by committee, and I feel like that's the way our team's built. So that's why I'm confident, because they're both very different 9s. They're both used for very different games and very different roles. And I feel like Gyökeres this year should come into his own, obviously. I feel like he's learned how to work within the system. Like, he'll know where he can get the goals from. And I feel like we spent a boatload of money on him, so he should be the guy. Do you get what I mean? He should be the guy that really takes the reins this season. He's had his first season in the Prem. Okay, cool. You've seen it. You've won it. Like, those were your stepping stones. We now need you to be the man. So I feel like, look, we have the team to be able to give these 2 strikers an opportunity. So I'm not too mad about us not getting a 9. I would love to get a world-class number 9 in, but how many world-class number 9s are there out there? And are they coming to Arsenal? That's what you got to ask yourself. So it's very, very difficult. But for me, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it right now. Obviously, we're making defensive reinforcements, more midfield reinforcements. Attacking options has been our problem, and it's still probably going to be our problem. But again, if we can win games 1-0, if we can do the same thing as we did last season, then that's fine, essentially. But the Man City game in the Community Shield did give me confidence in seeing that the goals are going to come by committee because they did in that game, and I feel like that's how it's going to be throughout the season.
Fair. No, that's fair. And I'll probably say, I think Man United, if we can close Belieber, that's come up today, even though he's going to be out for the next few weeks. I was always like, when his injury got announced last week or 2 weeks ago or something, I think it was like an ankle injury. I was like, as long as it's not long term and the overpay on price isn't there, because last summer Brighton wanted 100 mil from us, and you could say we arguably stepped back. I mean, step back on that one, even though he did seem like a key player to potentially come in last summer. So, if we can close out Belieber within the next couple of days or next week, I think we'd be up there in terms of our transfer, because that's 3 midfielders we brought in. So we've effectively finally replaced our whole midfield to now join Kobe. That's 3 midfielders of around 150 million. Whereas we wanted Elliot Anderson 160 million. That would have taken away most of that budget. We wanted Mateus Fernandes 85 million. We signed Santos and Tielemans for the Fernandes price. Do you know what I mean? So, and backing out from Edison has now been, obviously, if we can close the Belieber door, I think us, in that sense, we obviously need a left back. That's without a doubt, innit? And it seems like the reports are the club still want Lewis Hall, all this jazz, but I think Newcastle ain't budging, also the price, etc. But we definitely need a left back. It's stepping stones, because we definitely need centre back as well. But I feel like we can wait till next year for that one. Because we kind of got no choice. We've got more pressing priorities. Like, literally, we entered pre-season with 1 midfielder in Kobe Mino. Do you know what I mean? First team. Like, in terms of first team midfielders, Ugarte's on the books, but he done his ACL in the World Cup. We saw Casemiro. Then obviously we've got Santos and Tielemans done over the last 6 weeks. Tielemans was nearly 6 weeks ago. So it's just, I think we've had a good window once we close out Belieber, and if we can sign a left back, it'll be a great window for us. But because we can't go into the season with basically Luke Shaw. We spoke about on the United episode. It's just like, bro, we're back in Champions League. Like, we need quality and depth in terms of a squad. Like, and not to say mirror Arsenal, but that's what Arsenal have at the back, especially, and in midfield. Do you know what I mean? So, like, we've got the quality now once Belieber's wrapped up in midfield, and we've actually got depth in attacking areas. Like, regardless of if Xerxes goes or not, we either bring in another striker, or we've got enough Like, even if Sesko's not playing, we saw Mboma play up top a lot last season. We know Cunha can do it as well. We know Rashford can do it if Rashford's going to stay. So we've got the attacking options, to be fair. Like, the squad's looking more healthy. It's looking more healthy. But we have to see Baliba over the line, and we have to get a left back. So I'd say probably Tottenham. Arsenal didn't need to do too much because they're champions and the squad's solid, very solid already. So I'd say Arsenal to an extent. Obviously, if they, again, had Vinny, it would have been them outright. And I'd say us, Man United in that sense. And then just on the promoter clubs, we spoke about Sunderland last year, how brave they were with their spending in the window. I think we have to give credit to the likes of even Hull to a lesser extent. They haven't spent as much as the other two, but Hull. But Ipswich and Coventry, they're giving it a go this off-season.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, they are.
They're giving it a go this off-season. So, and you actually have to now. Like, it's hard because obviously what Sunderland done was an anomaly. They not only stayed up, they've got Europe. Do you know what I mean? So, but then we saw like how strong Leeds became, or Leeds were generally, they were in the relegation battle, and then towards the end of the season, they just left Spurs and West Ham into their battle by themselves, innit? Do you know what I mean? And now they've brought in the likes of James Trafford, Harry Wilson. So like they're building because of their them staying up, whereas these teams coming up, they're kind of following Sunderland's model. Like, yo, we really need to spend and bring in quality. So I'd say shout out the promoter clubs on their approach.
I'd agree. I'd want to say big up Brentford as well in their window. I feel like they've made a few underrated signings in terms of like Jaden Anthony coming in, Callum Wilson coming in, a few more players around that level where they're going to keep them in their good stead. You know, Brentford aren't ever going for much, but, you know, it could be a case where they want to push for a European spot, a European Conference League spot. So I feel like Brentford always do smart business. They're a very smart business savvy football club. So I want to big up them as well.
On Brentford, on Brentford, they broke their record for signing Mamadou Sangare from Lens, the central midfielder.
That was a serious signing as well, by the way. That was a serious, very underrated signing, which I think just got brushed under the rug because everything else was happening. Everyone's being bought for 100 mil, and this and that. But I feel like he'll be one of them players that really, really stands out. And it's a Brentford signing which is similar to what a Brighton signing used to be, where they're signing you, but you're probably going to be sold in like 2 years. Or if you have a good year this year, you'll probably be sold to a top 6 club. So, but I do like the business they've been doing down there as well. Some clubs I'm just a bit wary of what they're doing. Crystal Palace, I don't know what they're doing. They're in Europe now and Europa League. So I really don't see the business that's going on there that's going to help them. They've done a swap deal with Brennan Johnson and Dwight McNeil. Like, you spent loads of money on Brennan Johnson. It didn't work out for you.
I said this to someone the other day. I was like, even though Brennan Johnson didn't have a good spell at Palace at all, how had they not got a fee? Even if you're doing a swap, like Dwight McNeil's value is no more than 20 million. Like, obviously you probably were desperate to get him off your books, but they should have still got at least a 10 million fee. Do you know what I mean? That surprised me.
Something.
Yeah.
Something. It's something. Because I've not liked Palace's business, especially as they're in Europe. I'm like, you got a new manager now, but you need to sign players. And you have that pool of being in London, but it's not, I don't know why it's not working for you right now. Do you know what I mean? Because if you can't go to the Arsenals, the Chelseas, I was about to say the Fulhams, Arsenal, Chelsea, the Tottenhams, and you might have more pull than the Tottenham right now just because you're in Europe, and they're not. I know they're spending a hell of a lot of money, but you might have more pull than the Tottenham, and you definitely have more pull than the Fulham right now because of your status in Europe. Like, why is your business not looking similar to a Brentford's type of business? Why is it not looking good? So Palace are the one team I'm a bit wary of going into the season because I don't see them doing anything. And it's like, last year, yes, you stayed in the Premier League because there's teams that were very, very bad. Do you get what I mean? And you won the Europa Conference League, which was your main focus. But this year, realistically, you're not going to win the Europa League. You might do, actually, because, you know, it's a competition. But realistically, you're not going to win the Europa League. So you need to figure out what you're doing in the Premier League. And I don't think their squad is good enough. And I do feel like later on into this window, people are going to come for their players, as in Wharton, Mateta. I feel like people are going to be going out the door. You already lost a centre half. Lequoire's
Even
already
on
gone to
that,
Chelsea.
Ismaïla Sarr, who's arguably their best player. Apparently, Galatasaray are really in for him today, and Sarr's interested in the move as well. So
He would be. He would be. He can play like Champions League football, I guess, and you know, doesn't have to. He probably enjoys being the main man, but he's always needed that big move, and it's never really happened. He's kind of stayed at the same sort of Premier League type clubs. Obviously, being at Watford for as long as he was, and then moving to Palace was like he was meant to go to Man United at one point. I remember, or Man United were interested in him at one point, and obviously he comes to Palace, and then he's doing his thing at Palace. But I feel like for him, that move to Galatasaray will help him a lot, and it will be the move he probably wants to. Turkey's massive right now. They got world-class football players over there. They're spending a hell of a lot of money. So why not? So Palace need to watch out. They
yeah,
need to watch out because their business hasn't been too good. And Villa are another one where they're just letting everyone go. They're bringing in people, but it's not the same quality of people that you're letting go that you're bringing in. And you're playing Champions League. Like your Ollie Watkins is probably going to leave. He wants to go Saudi. Konza's leaving. Martinez, the goalkeeper, he wants to leave every summer, every window he wants to leave, so we don't know if he's gone yet. Do you get what I
to be fair,
mean?
Martinez they've replaced with Suzuki, the Japanese keeper.
Yes, I did
So
see that.
that's a good pickup. But what you said on Villa, sorry to cut you off, like that's you said Martinez, Konza, they've lost Morgan Rogers, they've lost Tielemans. Like
Dinier's gone.
Yep, Onana's out. He done ACL in World
Yep.
Cup. So like that's their spine gone completely. If Watkins goes, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, because I said a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I actually think, or it was after the Super Cup against PSG, or during the Super Cup. I said I think Villa will be fine. I trust Emery now, like in terms of what he's done, and he just seems to whatever kind of players come in, for instance, he can make them really, really good, get the team playing well, obviously, in terms of Manzambi, João Gomez. But then, like he said, now it's too much, the outgoings.
Yes. It's like I thought it was going to stop. It's just continued. Like I was thinking, you're going to have to keep someone. Obviously, they're probably going to bring Aaron. Aaron Wan-Bissaka on loan.
Yeah, I've seen that one as well, actually.
So he'll probably be joining on loan, which will probably help them defensively. But it's still a case of you're losing your team. Do you get what I mean? You're really losing your team. You've lost your best players. Like Buendia, when you're lucky you kept Buendia. You're replacing them with players like Manzambi and Gomez, but Gomez got relegated. I like him, obviously. I love him at Wolves, but he got relegated last year. Manzambi's new to the Premier League. You're trusting a young striker, which I feel like he's going to be great, but you're trusting in a young striker. You know we can have ups and downs. So it's going to be an interesting season, especially as you're playing Champions League. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to make a few more signings if they can, but it seems like we spoke about it before. They don't have the money to make the real big signings anymore. So like they're gonna have to get loans in. Like if I'm them, I'm phoning Arsenal today and asking for Wanyeri on loan. I'm asking for specific players on loan that I feel like aren't gonna play for their squads. Do you get what I mean? But it depends. But Villa are the one that I'm out of the top six, the big six, I'm worried about in terms of like what their business looks like.
Oh, from the big six from last season,
Yeah.
I'd say that, yeah. And do you know what? Yeah, somewhat Liverpool as well, because they've lost a lot of older heads or players that weren't performing as well. But like their quality and depth in their squad, I'm not sure. Obviously, they're still chasing Barcola if they can get that over the line, but it's looking like that's going to be very expensive. Like that'll be a good signing regardless. They've still got quality in the likes of Isaac. Do you know what I mean? He's one of the best strikers in the league. You got Szoboszlai, who's been on form for the last couple of years now. Van Dijk's Van Dijk. Alisson's Alisson, but Alisson injury prone, older. Van Dijk, he's just getting older, but he managed to play every game last season. So Liverpool, like, I don't know. I rate Uraiola, but I don't know what I wouldn't put them in the upper echelon of teams with the best windows this off season.
Nah, I just feel like because they signed such a good manager, that helps them a lot. I think the managerial signing for them was super key. And that's going to feel like £100 million signing for that football club, essentially. That manager coming in is going to feel like that for them. So I feel like I'm not worried about Liverpool because of last year, the injuries and people signing and just not living up to their potential. I feel like we'll see. This year we'll see. Because it's going to be a whole new system, a whole new team. We know Iraola likes to play a high intensity style of football. We saw him at Bournemouth. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And obviously, do you know what? Bournemouth, I don't know about their business either, but they're always a steady kind of working team. I know Krupi's out for a while, so that's a problem because I feel like he would have been gone if he was fit. And I still feel like someone might buy him anyway, injured. But it's just, I don't know if they're reaching that 100 million valuation that Bournemouth probably want for him.
Well, apparently Spurs were the club the day before he got injured that were going to do it. Like, that was one of their players to press the trigger on. So another club kind of like Villa, Newcastle. Newcastle have lost a lot of their big players this summer. Again, Gordon at the beginning, before the World Cup. Tonali, Bruno G. So they've cashed in, but that's 3 of your outright starters, arguably 3 of your best players. You bringing in a bit of unknowns. I think in Bazumana Toure. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think the right back from Dedic is coming. That's the new manager's first signing. It's like from Benfica. Sorry, it's like whoa, like Newcastle gave it a go the last couple years, obviously with their owners and stuff. But then like Villa, they were restricted with financial fair play. And then Newcastle actually gave it a go, trying to get big players last summer. The players just chose other clubs. And now PIF, Saudi, their regime, etc., they've now concentrating on non-sporting factors. Like, they're concentrating on the tourism aspect, etc. So it just seems like Newcastle, their hire was like a very minimal, and it's just bringing them really back down to earth. Obviously, they got a League Cup out of it. Do you know what I mean? But it could be a peak season for them, like, whereas potentially a bottom half of the table side, which I think they were last season anyway. But like, at least last season they were playing in Champions League and playing in the knockout rounds. Do you know what I mean? So
I agree. That's why I say the Premier League is going to be so interesting, because the teams coming up look like they want to fight to stay in the Premier League. We know there's that group of teams at the bottom of the table that weren't great last year, but have also bought and built on what they were to kind of stay in the Premier League. So like this year, why I feel like it's interesting is because I always talk about that gap between the champ and the Prem and the top teams in the champ coming up to the Prem. I feel like the teams that are coming up, like Ipswich, for instance, they may have learnt their lesson. Coventry, they just need to stay in the Premier League, for instance. They've not been here for so long. They need to stay in the Premier League. You can see them going all out. And Hull, they've been here before. And hey, Hull's not a great place in general to be or to live. But it's not. Everyone has said it. Do you get what I mean? But you get what I mean. It's a Premier League side, and if people want to play Premier League, they just who'd they sign from Celtic? Kamada? Yeah, Kamada, the striker, right?
Maeda.
I'm
not mistaken.
Yeah, the striker from so Hull have made signings that will surprise people, and I feel like Hull may be the surprise, but like it's going to be interesting because I feel like they've closed the gap in terms of that bottom window to the top of the champ. Just because of the signings they're able to make and the players that want to come to these clubs.
I'm trying to think. I don't think it was Hull that side Maeda.
Who was it? I might be bugging. It was someone who just got promoted. Was it Leeds?
Yeah, it was Ipswich.
Well, Ipswich, yeah.
It was actually Ipswich, so yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing it and I was like
Ipswich, I mean, they've given it a go. Obviously, in Cisco, we spoke Fatawu, Maeda, Lukic and Diop from Fulham. So, Hull's a tricky one. On we've not spoke about them, who are arguably your main challengers because of last season. Man City. What do you think of Man City's window? Because they've lost obviously arguably the best midfielder in the Prem, and alongside the top two greatest managers in the Prem history, and then their captain of last season, Bernardo Silva as well, who got much better towards the second half of the season.
Yeah, for me, City aren't gonna be. I feel like they'll always be in and around it, just because of the quality they have, and they've got a Haaland, they've got a Shirky, they've got I've got to say, they got Elliot Anderson in there, they got the Foden, they got the Doku. They've still got these players, so you can't count them out. Do you get what I mean? Guardiola, Ruben Diaz, Donnarumma, like they've still got a serious squad. It's just I feel like their influence is so big, and it helped out the team so much. And Rodri now leaving is going to be a hole. They're going to have to relearn how to play football without Rodri. And you saw them without Rodri, what happens usually. They don't do much. So for me, their window hasn't been great because they've lost better players than they probably bought in. Yep. And okay, cool. You went and spent all this money on Elliot Anderson. For me and for you, I know he's a holding mid. Why have you spent that much money on a holding midfielder to pass the ball sideways and backwards to keep the game ticking? And he's not Rodri. And you've got one there ready, gone.
And it looks like they're going to... Well, I think apparently Newcastle are on him. Whether they let him go, Nico Gonzalez, is a different story. But if they I say pull the trigger, but Bouadi, the young Moroccan centre mid defensive midfielder, is looking like 100 million euros. So for an 18-year-old defensive mid, 85 million pounds, with Elliot Anderson 160 mil. And that's arguably just replacing Rodri and Bernardo Silva. Do you know what I mean? And then Reinders to an extent, even though he wasn't.
But my thing is, I feel like what the Bernardo Silva sale was, or Bernardo Silva leaving, was for Phil Foden to come and take that role for the next 5 to 8 years. That's what I felt like should happen. And then I felt like, obviously, Elliot Anderson would eventually take the role when Rodri left. I didn't think Rodri was going to leave now. So Rodri is now left and Elliot Anderson is now in that role straight away. So they've essentially got a new midfield three. Obviously, Shirky's going to be in there as well. But they've got a new midfield three. They've got a new manager. Their window's not been great because they've lost better players than they've brought in. And the manager they've lost is near enough the greatest of all time. And you brought in a manager that won the championship and then got to move to Chelsea. You go, I mean, that's about it. So it's going to be interesting. But for me, City will always be in and around it just because of the players they have. But this could be the year that they fall out of the title race, essentially. I think they could fall out of the title race. It could be Arsenal or someone else.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with that one. Cool.
Yes. So now we've talked about the transfers. Let's move on to like the predictions for the season. We're going to start from bottom to top. So we'll go actually first. Who do you feel like is going to be relegated this season?
Relegation candidates. Sorry, let me just get the PL table up just in case I forget anyone. Relegation candidates. I think Hull are one. Again, they're giving it a go. Maybe not to the extent that other clubs are, but hey, such is life.
Yeah.
Mate, I don't. If they're not careful, if they have a few key injuries, and it doesn't have to be a lot, and if they're not careful, this might have to be a wild shout on whatever segment this is. But I just spoke about them, Newcastle. I actually think they're in trouble this season.
Yeah.
I actually do think they're in trouble. Whether relegation, but I don't see them. I feel like they'll be a bottom half of the table team. So, am I brave enough to pick Newcastle? That's the real question. I'm going to go Hull, Coventry. Who's the Ipswich manager now?
Gary O'Neill, is it?
To be fair, I did like Gary O'Neill when he was in Brent. I feel like he sides play good ball. And I just feel like the club are much more equipped for this season in the Prem. Do you know what I mean?
I'd agree.
Like, you can see what the signings that they made. Like, even whereas a couple years ago they tried, but they were ready to be relegated with the signings that they made, like good championship players, top championship players, so they can bounce back up, which they did. So credit to them. But I'm gonna go Hull, Coventry, and Hull, Coventry, and this third one's tough.
Mm-hmm. But it could be Forest.
I think Forest are going to be good. I actually think they're going to be good with Glasner as well. Like, Forest had good players last year. They shouldn't have been where they were. So
that's true.
I actually think Forest can even compete to go top half of the table, whether they actually get it. Do you know, I'm actually going to stick with Newcastle. I'm just going to be brave and say Newcastle. It could all come crashing down for them, which would be terrible for as their stature. But I think it's just easy to say all the relegated clubs, which it probably could be. I mean, promoted clubs, sorry, which it probably could be, and they'll all be favourites to go down. But yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Newcastle alongside Hull and Coventry. What about you?
Do you know what? I don't think. I think it's gonna be Hull guaranteed. I think Ipswich will play good football but won't get over the line. I feel like they'll play good football but won't be similar to what Wolves were under Gary O'Neill. Good football but weren't winning enough games.
I feel like
that's
Gary
why I feel like Ipswich
would have learned his lesson now, because the Wolves and then was it Bournemouth managed in the Prem as well? Yeah, like Bournemouth. Just that. And sorry, just another one. Because you've named them, I mean, you mentioned them not too long ago. I have concerns with Crystal Palace. I hope it's not the case, but I genuinely have a bit of concerns with them. Like you said, because they're playing Europa and they'll be wanting to win it, but I don't feel like this current squad is as strong as Forest was last year, getting to the semi-final, and Villa even winning it. So I don't think Palace's squad arguably as strong as it was last season. But hey.
This is the thing. Palace are in there for me, unfortunately, just because in the next week, or it's literally 2 weeks, because that's all they got. They need to sign some players. They need to show me something, because if I'm not seeing anything, I'm like, bro, you guys were down there last season. You're a lot better than the teams that are coming up. And you're probably better than the 2 or 3 Prem teams. But if you're only better than 2 or 3 Prem teams guaranteed, that means you're in that group of people that's looking like you could be relegated. So I'm going Hull. I think I'm going Ipswich. And I think I could be going Crystal Palace, unfortunately. But I feel like Crystal Palace are so much better than the Coventry. I don't see how they don't. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're right in saying Newcastle, because Newcastle everything's new. Everything is brand new. And the club looks like it's going that way, not that way. At one point, it was going this way. You've made a lot of money, but where are you reinvesting this money? And is it into players that are going to keep you in positions that you need to be in? And I don't want to see Newcastle go to the champ, because they're such a big football club, but the Premier is unforgiving. So anyone could go down. Bro, if you asked me a couple of weeks back, I'd have put Tottenham still in there, because I still don't trust this De Zerbi man with everything he's doing. So I'm going to allow Tottenham for now, but if I see Tottenham at 15th come in 3 months' time, they're the ones I'm calling for.
Fair. That's more than fair, bro. I feel like there's, again, the last cup, Bournemouth, we don't know how they'll do, losing Iraola. Again, Krupi being out for time, all that 3-4 months. It's a sticky one, but it also shows, like, I think the last couple years, obviously the promoted teams have been favourites to go down, but we saw West Ham have been spending the last couple of years, and it caught up with them in terms of them not getting their recruitment right. and
Mhm.
they went down. And like you said, Spurs back-to-back years, Spurs were very low in the table for big clubs like that. So
Yeah.
the Prem is very much unforgiving. And if that opportunity arises for you to go down, boy, oh boy.
It will take you. It will take you. You've seen it.
Mm.
Okay, top 6. Who do you feel is finishing in the top 6? No order, just top 6 for now.
Top six. Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool. Depend again. They need to finish it off. Because Liverpool are 1 or 2 key injuries away from a team that's not challenging. Because obviously Ekitike is still out for time from his Achilles.
Yeah.
So it's only technically Isaac has the own 9. Let's touch wood. I don't like no players getting injured regardless. But if Isaac got injured and if Szoboszlai got injured,
that's it for them. They're
unarguably
flying down the team.
Gravenberch and then Van Dijk. Because Van Dijk's been a one-man defense last couple of years. So it's peak. It's peak. But they've got enough quality and enough senior guys like winners that they can sneak into top 6. So Liverpool and then one more team. If it would have been Villa if they hadn't. Ezri's a big loss for them. Because he's a staple of their defense. I think they can replace the others. I'm looking now at the table. Who's the other teams that I've got in Europe? You've got Sunderland, you've got Brighton in Conference League. Palace because they won the Conference League. And Villa, is that it? Yeah, well, I'm thinking Europa. So Palace, Europa, Sunderland, Europa, isn't it? And then Brighton Conference League.
Yeah, Brentford didn't get anything, did they? Bournemouth didn't get anything, did they?
No, Bournemouth got Europa.
Yeah, Bournemouth.
Bournemouth got Europa as well. Brentford messed it up at the end. I say messed it up, but do you know what I mean? One more team for the 6th spot. Do you know what? I'm going to go with Spurs. I am going to go with Spurs. I think we're going to get the traditional top 6 in that sense. Because I feel like even though the gap has closed up with the mid-table teams to the top teams, I feel like the top teams are starting to open it up again to kind of show them like, you guys are a bit little boys. We've just seen it, for argument's sake, not to take a piss out of the fan bases, but any player Newcastle goes in for, the others from the top 6 will just say, hold my bear, including Aston Villa in that sense as well. Do you know what I mean? And then there's other clubs where the gap is, I mean, look how Spurs are spending this summer. It's overspent, but it is what it is. If it works out for them and they get Champions League, then no one's going to look back and complain. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to go with that 6. And that's probably my order as well, even though we didn't do no order. But Arsenal, United, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool and Spurs.
Yeah, I'm going to go Arsenal, top 6 for me. Arsenal, United, City, Liverpool, Villa, Chelsea. I don't have Spurs in there. I don't have Spurs in there. I just this hype of them signing all these players. You're signing players that got relegated. You're signing players from Brighton. You're signing players from Newcastle. Yeah, they were okay.
They're better players though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but like I'm not trusting in this process. I've seen it once too many times.
You lot signed from Newcastle. Hey,
you're right. We did. We signed from Newcastle. We signed a man that Newcastle went to the World Cup. Them man are signing a Newcastle man that got done for betting and all that, all sorts. His country ain't been in the World Cup for so damn long. It's unbelievable. So there's some differences. But Newcastle have become the feeder club of the Premier League. It seems like nowadays. So like they're developing everyone, and then the big clubs come and take them from there. So they got a good scouting system over there. I got to give it to Newcastle. But other than that, they're going to be in problems. But yeah, I don't think it's out of Spurs and Chelsea to not be in there. I don't trust either of those two teams. I'll be honest. I need to see them. Chelsea's squad, they just spend money. I don't know if Xabi Alonso is going to make much of a difference over there. Like, I like the Welbeck signing. I like the Henderson signing for experience factors. But if they've really got to play a lot, this is going to be a problem. Welbeck, not so much. But Henderson, if he's got to play a lot, and then you got the Enzo Fernandez saga, I don't really know. Chelsea could finish 10th again for me. Like, that's how real it is.
I think on the United episode, TG made a good point. Chelsea changed their strategy so much in season. Like, genuinely don't know. So, yeah. I think just because of the fact that Chelsea aren't playing in Europe, I think that, like, that will help. They've got enough quality players if they're fit that they should. Do you know what I mean? I think I saw something, and sometimes I'm not Enzo's biggest fan, but I saw like some stats about like their win rate with and without him, and it is something like, where is it? In all comps, I don't know how old this picture is, but in all comps, without him, and it was since February 2023. Without him, they had like 32 win %, and then with him, 84. Actually, I think this must be old because it's their kit from the season before. But we've seen like whether he stays or not, even if he goes Man City, I'm not gonna fear Man City because they're signing Enzo Fernandez. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
but they've got the two cool guys in Cole Palmer and Morgan Rogers who should connect well. We saw João Pedro have a good season for them last year. He can build on that. He's just signed a new contract. Moises Caicedo is one of the best midfielders in the Prem. He's their staple hold. A big one for them is, again, somewhat, some people sometimes call him overrated, which is fair, is Levi Colwill. He's back and he should be available all season. And if he can stay fit, Reece James stay fit, obviously they got Lacroix from Palace. It's good signing. Doesn't move it for me as much, but he's a good signing. Again,
still got the same goalkeeper.
Hey, if I speak on Chelsea's goalkeepers, they might arrest me. So,
like, this is the thing. They still got the same keepers in goal, bro. Chelsea, I feel like they could finish 10th. They ain't got really. They lost. I know. You're not saying that.
Yeah,
I know, but like, they lost Cucurella. Like, we're hoping people can stay fit. We're really hoping people that get injured all the time can stay fit. It's like hoping in hell. It ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
That's what it's like.
Like, if they were playing in Europe, then I wouldn't have them in my top 6.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But it's just, whereas like Spurs, I think with Spurs' signings, it's not that, again, this is why I kind of put their window at like one of the best windows. If Spurs were in Europe, I'd still rate them the same way I'm rating them without Europe, if that makes sense.
Right,
whereas Chelsea, like, I feel like right now they've just got enough and just to focus on the Prem, and it's perfect for them. Whereas I think Spurs will be able to. Spurs, we've seen them in Europe and still do okay-ish in the Prem. Like, they're weird.
Yeah.
To be fair, last couple of years hasn't been the case because they've gone far in Europe 2 years ago, winning Europa League, but still being low in the table. So now for them, it could just be the reverse with no Europe. So, yeah.
Yeah, interesting one. Who have you got to win it all?
Unfortunately, like I've said, you guys are the favourites, so it's your title to lose. I feel like there is like, whereas Man City and Liverpool have had, of recent winners, have had like arguable rivals from the get-go. This year, you guys effectively stopping that, like Pep going. Now there's a bit of a gap. It's you guys, then everyone else kind of. So it's yours to lose. But I also have said before, like, the Prem, I feel like it's just more open in general because you guys haven't retained it. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be a new experience for your boys in that sense. But their confidence will be up. It will be up. It's more open than it has been in recent years. But it's weird because I still feel like you guys have the gap on everyone in it. So, and yeah, look, Arteta's longest serving manager in the Prem now already. And the rest of the top six,
crazy.
Carrick is second longest, and he only came in January. So
yeah, it's very much crazy. But yeah, no, I feel like we're favourites to win it. I feel like we will repeat. Just because getting over the line in the first one is the hardest one to do. And especially against Pep. There is no Pep left. So I feel like we're going into it with like, okay, cool. There's no one that can really hold us, and there's no one we're looking over our shoulder at if we go into a position like last year where we're ahead by a number of points and then we're worried about things. I don't think that fear is there anymore for Arsenal. I think that we're in a great place. Very, very stable in players. No one's begging to leave. The players that we need to get out kind of are going out. The people that we need to bring in, we're trying to bring in slowly but surely. We're shoring up in areas where we're already sure. So yeah, for me, it should be a good year for Arsenal. I feel like we will be very, very dominant in terms of defensively as always. And, it just needs to be that attacking side of the game that we can get into it. But I feel like that will come out because of last year was just about getting over the line. And I feel like this year we're actually going to have some fun and enjoy these games and really play some Arsenal ball. So yeah, for me, Arsenal favourites. I feel like we'll be challenged for the first. We'll be challenged up until Christmas. And then that's why I give the rest of the league. Challenged up until Christmas and then we're gone. I give the rest of the league that.
Title and look.
Hey, is what it is. But yes, let's move on to the awards. The awards and how you feel that they're going to flow through the Premier League this year. So we're going to kick off with the Golden Boot.
Golden Boot, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Haaland.
See,
I think
I'm going to go with
Who?
Oh, I think we're going to go Isak.
I was thinking Isak, but it's just if he's fit for the whole season. Like obviously, it was just last season a lot in it, but I did think Isak. I just thought that's the next person in it. Yeah. But I don't really fear there's real competition for Haaland, but Isak. Obviously, Thiago got his 20+ goals last season. Whether he does replicates that this season, it's a different story in it. So,
not for me. There'll always be like an outlier, I feel like Chelsea will have someone. I don't know. I can't say for Arsenal we'll have someone, but I feel like when we're looking at strikers, those two are the two that I feel like will be the ones that are in the race against each other. Essentially, playmaker of the season. So you know what that is. Bruno Fernandes's role, basically. Most assists. You fail.
Hey, it's Portuguese Magnifico, Bruno Fernandes. Just go again. Get me? Like, feel like this will be. He's got 1 or 2 peak seasons left in him. So he has to capitalize on that. So I'd say Bruno.
I would agree, but you know what? I feel like Man City are going to have to lean on Shirky a lot more this year than they did last year in terms of like Pep, rotating him. I feel like he's going to play majority of the games, 95% of the games in all competitions. So I feel like in the Premier League, though, specifically, I feel like Shirky could rival that there. Do you get what I mean? I feel like Shirky is the only one that could rival it, but I'm going to go Bruno Fernandes, but Shirky is the one that I feel like could get the most assists, could be in that same breath, basically.
Yeah, no, that's fair, to be fair. That is fair. Because Shirky went on a stint where he woke up last season, so yeah.
Golden Glove.
At this rate, Raya's getting is how many in a row now?
I don't know, a lot.
Yeah, like again, Golden Glove doesn't always show how great the keeper is historically when you go back on like Premier League years, for instance. But like you guys got the best defense, and Raya's at a world-class level now. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I'd agree. Not much to say on that. Raya, for me, the defense is always going to be the extension. How good your defense is going to help that out. And I feel Arsenal got the best defense, so it's going to help. Signing of the season.
Signing of the season. Oh. Ooh. It's tough. I can differentiate it because of not differentiate it more so, but I can give an argument for I could give an argument for Tielemans because of the price that we got him for.
Yeah.
And we spoke about it with some of the price that all the midfielders are going for this summer, and getting Tielemans for 35 million. Again, whoever got in contact with Villa at United to find out Tielemans' release clause, they probably got a bonus that week or that month. So credit to them. And I just feel like he'll help. Again, our style of play, when we're playing against a low block, Bruno won't have to come deep because we've got a great passer deeper in midfield. He's a great crosser as well. So if he's in crossing positions as well, like, we're not going to have to be over-reliant on Bruno. That's why, with even the playmaker thing, I was like, oh, should I pick Bruno? Because I think his numbers may drop up in terms of the assists. His chance creation will still probably be high, but I think he will be maybe in more goal-scoring positions. Do you know what I mean? He might be higher because he's not going to have to come deep. So, again, maybe our viewers and listeners may say Man United bias, but I think Tielemans, and then the other player I was going to potentially say was Bruno G, because it gives you guys the opportunity to not to rest Rice every now and then. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, whether Arteta actually does it is a different story, because it looks like Rice is probably going to play first game of the season. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of Arsenal fans don't want Rice and Saka arguably to play the first month of the season, let alone the first game. So I think just because of Bruno's quality he's better than Rice on the ball, much like passing forward. Rice isn't going to have to do as much and maybe not play as much. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'd say just because of that aspect, because you did need quality on the ball and kind of an all-action midfielder, Bruno G can have a say. Because I think it was a slight overpay, but he can shut it up quickly, like kind of how Rice shut it up in terms of the price, innit?
I think, I'm going to go for Sangare. Do you know? I'll tell you why. I'm going to go for Sangare because I feel like he's going to have a similar impact to what Xhaka had on Sunderland last year. And I feel like Xhaka was actually the signing of the season up until when he got hurt. And then, they still got into the
position. Up until the first half of the season, yes, I would agree.
So I feel like Sangare is going to have that same impact on Brentford.
Fair. That's fair.
For me personally. I don't want to go for the big signings because our teams are already good. So, like, the impact that you see isn't going to be drastic, whereas what Xhaka did last season to Sunderland is drastic. What Sangare, I feel, can do to Brentford will be drastic. If he stays fit, like, it's going to be crazy for them, and they'll be a tough team. They're a tough team to play anyway, but with those added legs, the added quality, his ability, I feel like he can be the driving force. And again, I don't think he'll be there after the end of the season. So
that's a good one to be there. Because now he could be that push to make sure they definitely get a European spot in that sense. Because to be fair, United were actually even looking at Sangare this summer. So yeah, that is a really good one. I'm just trying to look to see if anyone else, but yeah, no, that's a good one. So
yeah, I was thinking of who signed where and if anyone signed, but I couldn't really think of anyone. Manager of this, go on.
Again, I'm doing it because of their value, and in this case, the player was bought for free. Harry Wilson for Leeds. It could be that if he can continue what he done last season and take it to another level, And yeah, sorry if you can hear the bin behind.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, manager of the season.
Woo! There's a few new ones. I mean, we spoke about the top 6. Most of them are new. Ooh, it's tough. It's tough. No, let me get the table back up. Just so.
What I will say is it should go, if any of the teams that just got promoted stay in the Premier League, their manager deserves manager of the season. That's
fair.
what I will say.
That's very fair.
But
that is fair.
But I feel like it's difficult. I feel like I want to give it to the Sunderland manager because Regis. I feel like I want to give it to him, and I feel like he'll get it just because of how he was doubted last year by their ownership, basically saying he's going to be sacked if we don't make Europe. He's then made Europe. I feel like because he's under so much pressure all the time, it feels like from these Sunderland owners, he thrives underneath that. So I don't know. I feel like that could be my manager of the season. I think he was probably manager of the season last year, but obviously Arteta won the Prem. So
yeah, I think it'll be tough. Like, especially when teams go in Europe, especially the ones that don't play it. That Thursday to Sunday is a different kind of schedule.
Yes.
Like, we've seen even top sides, their players say they don't like that kind of schedule for some reason. Innit? So yeah, I don't know. Sunderland will be a tough one for them. I'm probably gonna say for the non-traditional clubs or the non-big clubs, I think Oli Glasner at Forest. I think Glasner at Forest, because again, like I believe Forest got good players, and they're not in Europe, so they can actually. They've tasted last year of being in Europe and balancing Prem. The year before, when they got into the European spot, we saw how well they played. So, like, they're good players still. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, they lost Elliot Anderson, but they've still got a very good squad, like a good enough squad for me that they can break into the top half of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
Top half of the table, sorry.
I agree. Breakout star for this Premier League season.
Oh. I mean, if Watkins leaves Villa, then Maggio.
Yeah.
I think he's out for the beginning of the season, but again, if you're young, I feel like he can have that John Duran kind of impact. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, with Duran, it was balanced with Watkins' play. So if Watkins does leave, a lot will be on Maggio's play. Again, if Tammy Abraham stays as well. But yeah, Maggio can be the potential breakout star. And if the team do way better than I expect them to do, then Manzambi for Newcastle.
Yeah. Yeah, Manzambi.
No, he's at Villa.
Manzambi's at Villa. Yeah, Villa. He was going to sign for Newcastle. Yeah,
I was thinking. This is what I say. Everyone just steals off Newcastle. Oh my days. Yeah, so it could be those two, the two Villa boys. Get me?
Yeah. Obviously, do you know what? I'm going to agree with you on the Maggio, but I want to say Max Dowman just because he was kind of the breakout star last year, but I feel like this year he could really, really be the breakout star because he didn't really play much. Do you get what I mean?
I think I was reading the other day saying, like, this season it will just be strictly football for him. Obviously, he's finished year 11, but I don't think he's going to do any form of extra studies, innit? And something about, I think he struggled to find a balance between school and football, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you would do. You're thinking, why am I doing my GCSEs if I'm playing at the Emirates? At that point, you're actually thinking, bro, I don't need this. So, but, big up him, he completed them. But I feel like he could be the one. He could be the one, to be fair. It just depends, because Arsenal's team is so good. It's where you're going to find him the minutes in the right places. That's the only problem. But I don't want him. If he went on loan, for instance, I don't think he's going on loan. But if he went on loan to another Prem side and Everton, I feel like he would be the breakout star if he was there, for instance.
Fair enough. Fair.
But But I'm going to go for Brian Maggio because I feel like he's going to play this season because I don't think Ollie
Yeah.
Watkins is actually going to be there for much longer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Your comeback player of the year. So if they're returning from basically like injury or bad form, who do you feel like that will be? Or coming back from a loan and they're playing at their club again?
Who's coming from injury? Because the ones that are injured. Oh, in terms of coming back to their club, the name that's just popped up to mind is Rashford, obviously, but I don't know if Rashford's gonna have a massive role with us this season if he stays. A player who was,
They could just been out of form as well.
I think. Do you know what? I'm gonna go with Isak.
Okay.
Isak, yeah, because again, last season was very hampered injury wise. I think Isak, yeah, I think he's gonna show his quality in it again as like a top 2 striker in the Premier League.
Oh, nice. I'm going for Phil Foden. He wasn't injured, but the form was completely off and, not making England squad and all that stuff. I feel like he's coming into the league with a real chip on his shoulder after winning PFA Player of the Year like a couple of years ago. Like, I feel like he can really be back to his best now. There's no one really in his way.
I hear that. My only thing is it'll be interesting to see Foden without Pep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if out of the 2 English players, if I was gonna choose someone, it would have probably been Cole Palmer out instead of Phil Foden. I feel Palmer's less reliable on the system, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. But I feel like Maresca is going to implement some of it. It's not going to be to the detailed level of Pep, but I feel like he's going to implement the system to a degree. So it's not going to be too far-fetched. It's just going to be the new players coming into the system that have to learn it. And because you lose you're losing key players, it's going to take a while to get back to what they were.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair.
So, yeah. But that is the last one is PFA Player of the Year. Who do you think's winning it?
Oh, well, they ain't even announced last season yet. I think they're doing that at the end of this month. PFA Player of the Year. It's PFA Player of the Year. For me, it's weird because, again, I've just mentioned him, but because he's English, if he has a good season, I feel like it may be slightly exaggerated in Cole Palmer with how very he was great when he first came to Chelsea, but we were hearing that he's the best player in the league already, and I was like, let's calm down. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
he'll have that PR aspect on his side. So I think Cole Palmer could be a contender if Chelsea are very good this season. If they, for instance, get top 3, maybe even top 4, depending on how close the race is. But I think I do think Bruno could potentially go back to back if he wins this one this month. Last season's this month, sorry. And it's not necessarily the assist numbers. I think he needs to be more clinical goal scoring for us. Bruno's taken his foot off the gas a bit for the last couple of years in terms of just his goal scoring. He used to be a very clinical finisher when he first couple of years at United. I feel like the monkey off his back with the assist record, off the team's back. And if he's going to be slightly playing higher up the pitch, obviously he plays the number 10 role, but not having to come deep. His all-round game can be just very, very effective, where the team doesn't fully rely on him, but he is our talisman. He can maintain that talisman level in it because it's on him to maintain this peak level, turning 32 in September.
My PFA Player of the Year. Do you know what? I'm not even going attacker. I think that Gabriel from Arsenal actually might get it. Honestly, I feel like they might just give it to somebody else. Especially if Arsenal have a season like they had last year, I feel like he'll be the one to probably win that. If it goes to an attacker, I think it's going to be going to a Shirky this year, though. If it goes to an attacker, I feel like he's really going to be the one. It's going to be him and Bruno Fernandes, the 1 and 2 best players in the league for me. So, yeah. But I feel like they might just go opposite and just give it to a Gabriel, because I think Bruno Fernandes is going to win it this year. But I think if Arsenal win the league next year in the same fashion we won it this year, then they give it to an Arsenal player and they can't give it to an attacker. So they're giving it to a defender.
Fair enough. And to be fair, Gabriel, he'll more limelight will be on him first half of the season in a positive way if you lot are doing well, because there's no Saliba for probably next couple months in it. So
yeah, so it'll be interesting. Our next segment is bold predictions. What is your bold prediction for this Premier League season?
I think, as I started the episode, Newcastle getting relegated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I can beat that one, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think my bold prediction is similar to that, but I feel like it's more Crystal Palace. If they don't sign anyone, bro, you're going down.
Fair. Have you got a bold prediction for a player, though? Or any players?
Oh, man. For what I think they're going to do?
Yeah, potentially.
Who do I really believe?
It's weird. For instance, Lamend ended up being the signing of the season last year.
Yeah.
So,
well, my bold prediction is probably Sangare being the signing of the season. To be fair.
Fair. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think that's probably my. Yeah.
Fair enough.
First manager to be sacked.
Ooh. I did have a manager in mind early and it's gone off my mind. First manager sacked. Again, it's one out. I say again, but I think it's going to be out of one of the two northeast clubs. In terms of Newcastle and Sunderland, I think Sunderland. This might be not a struggle year for them, but it's going to be interesting because Lebris, they might just. I think they might overreact and sell him if they're not doing as well as they think they should. Not necessarily losing, but again, like you said, it was like he was treading on eggshells last season. A lot of analytics have said Sunderland were lucky in a lot of their games last season. So, boy, Lebris and Newcastle manager as well. Like,
it's gonna.
It could be peak.
It could be. Do you know what? I don't even know, man. First manager sacked is difficult. This is where I'm going with it. If Tottenham lose 3 out of their first 5 games, I feel like they're gonna go on a mad. I feel like De Zerbi could be gone because I don't know. I've never seen Tottenham spend money like this before. So if Tottenham's season is failing within the first 15 games, let me say 15, he's gonna be gone because of the amount of money being spent. That's where I look at it. You're right in saying Sunderland's manager Lebris because there's just way too much expectation on that football club right now. I don't know why I love the ambition, but I don't understand why there's so much expectation. It doesn't make sense. The squad doesn't scream that expectation that they're looking for to me. So I'd say the same. I think the Newcastle manager's safe just because he's so brand new that he's going to have to get used to the Premier League, and I don't know Newcastle's plan.
But that's also why I think, like, I think his name's Jassel or something. That's why I also think it's like, it's kind of peak. It's those ones, if he's not doing well, just opening 10 games, for instance, they might think we gotta do it now and change it just in case we then get in trouble later on down the line or later down the season, innit? So yeah, that's why Newcastle for me. And then again, yeah, Sunderland. I feel like De Zerbi generally starts off well with a lot of these teams. That's why I wouldn't. If said he's going to be sacked at the end of the season or early next season, then I won't be surprised.
You say yes. Yeah, no, do you know what? I just don't believe in Tottenham's hype, bro. I really don't believe it. I feel like they've made okay signings and you're spending a lot of money. I just don't. I think it's all the facade, and they weren't even that good towards the back end of last season with this manager. I know he's brought in players, but it's for me, is what it is. But hey, we'll see. We will see. To wrap it up, though. One fixture you're looking forwards to, and just your general outlook on the Premier League this season. How do you think it's going to go?
Fixture I am looking forward to. I mean, I think they started to show it last year. Arsenal versus Man United, man. It might be back. It might be back. The Fergie Wenger years kind of. Again, it's all dependent on how well Carrick does. Do you know what I mean? If he can sustain what he did second half of last season, obviously it won't be easy, given like now we're competing in Europe as well. But if Carrick can become a mainstay for us, this is just me looking long term, that rivalry can come back. But I think Arsenal United, man. Arsenal United.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm very much agreeing with you because Arsenal Tottenham has become it's not a fixture anymore, bro. North London Derby at one point was the best fixture, but since Harry Kane left and Tottenham had just been doing what Tottenham been doing, it's been like a 3 points and it's an Eze Invitational right now, so we're not even bothered with them. So, like, for me, Arsenal United is the fixture. It is the fixture. It's always been the fixture. But it's now like, it feels like we're going to be competing with you for something, for instance. You get what I mean? I feel like the Premier League is taking back shape of how it used to be. We're kind of funneling the teams that used to be here. We got Coventry back to an extent. Obviously, Hull have been here before for a period of time. Ipswich have been here. So we're kind of getting that old Prem feel back. So, yeah, I feel like it is Arsenal Man United. That's the fixture I'm always looking forward to.
Yeah. Arsenal United, man. Let's bring it back to what we grew up on.
100%. 100%. Song of the week?
Song of the week. Mine is, I had it, Busy Signal, Come Over.
Oh, you've been listening to some dancehall then?
Yeah. I think it's a remix version. No, it's the old one. The missing you, missing baby.
Yes. Okay, I get you.
I forgot to bracket the missing you. That's why, but that one, yeah.
My song is The Love Scene by Joe.
Okay.
Because Joe and Donnell Jones have their verses tomorrow night. Yeah, they have their verses tomorrow night. So, yeah.
Fair.
So that's my song of the week this week.
You've been listening to some of their music to get ready for the verses.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm more of a Donnell Jones fan than a Joe fan, but I am heavily on that Joe's gonna kill him in the verses 10v10. Like Joe's tracks are Joe, as I always say, Joe, the only person that can beat Joe in an R&B battle is a man that is in jail right now. So, like, that's the only person that can beat him.
Fair enough, mate. Fair. It's so funny because I saw something about the man that's in jail, and they're like, he's the best R&B artist of all time. And I don't think anyone can disagree with it. He's a sick man, but honestly, music, flipping out, mate.
That's the thing. So, yeah, it'll be a good one. It'll be a good verses, though. But Donnell's brave. Hopefully they're not singing though. Hopefully they're just playing their tunes because these men need to. Hey, they're past it.
They need to call it a day.
Yeah. It gets to a point where we're enjoying your music. Just don't ruin it with your voice. So
yeah, I hear it still. I actually hear it. That'll be a good old school one though. Nostalgia.
100%.
Hey, well, that wraps up the Premier League episode as the Premier League is about to start. People watching, listening, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, hit those buttons, get in the comments, and we'll keep on delivering. But as the 26-27 season's going to start, obviously defending champs Arsenal, whoopty bloody do. United, we're coming. Hey, I'm not saying title challenge, but we're coming. But we got to sign a left back as well. But on that note, thank you all for watching, listening. Joe, I am signing out.
Jacob signing out.
Peace. God bless. Love.